Hey guys, Austin from Astute Aroma here. Let's jump into this review of the best first fragrances for men. First up is Versace Dylan Blue. This opens with fresh citruses, some salty aquatics, spice nuances, and some light ambroxan. The first 15 to 20 minutes, you may hear people say this smells like a shower gel, and I do agree with them, but I don't think it is as decisive or off-putting as many people make it out to be. After this period, Dylan Blue becomes more and more ambroxan dominated. There are some spicy and fresh nuances that linger, but it is all about this ambroxan. And then into the base, ambroxan dominated, it's fresh with some musk nuances. They make this a clean scent and a masculine scent, and this is what you'll smell for the rest of the wear, mostly ambroxan, fresh, and musky. The performance, 8 to 10 hours on the skin with above average projection. The first 2 to 3 hours, it pushes out at arm's length before receding to a 1 to 2 foot ambiance, but never becoming a skin scent. As for seasons and occasions, like a true blue fragrance, this is everything and anything. You don't even have to moderate your sprays. Dylan Blue is one of my favorite fragrances to recommend as a first fragrance because it is so versatile and it has Versace quality, but it is more affordable than many high-end designer fragrances. And if you're anything like me when I first got into fragrances, all I wanted was compliments, and this fragrance is one of the most complimented fragrances for men. Next up, I'm going to keep on the blue fragrance genre. I'll tell you right now that I didn't include Versace ADP on this list. It is not a bad fragrance, but every single guy wears it, and it's probably on every other YouTuber's reviews. So Ysly ADP opens very fresh and aromatic. There is some woody nuances that are lingering in the background. As we head into the mid, you get some more ginger nuances that are zingy and invigorating. They grab your attention. And there is a fruitiness to the juniper berries, but they are fleeting along with the ginger. And then into the base, it retains this prominent fresh aromatics with a woody depth. And this is what you get for the rest of the wear. A very simple fragrance, but sophisticated. As for performance, I get 8 to 10 hours with great projection. The first 3 hours, it pushes past an arm's length before receding to a 2 foot ambiance for the rest of the wear. Like a true blue fragrance, this can be worn for all seasons, all occasions. One of the best office wear blue fragrances. This is one of my favorite fragrances to recommend because it still has that blue fragrance wearability, but it deviates enough from the typical blue fragrance DNA that it's not your ambroxan and pink pepper and every other common note, but it still is very attractive and gets a bunch of compliments. This is probably one of my most complimented fragrances behind Dior Sauvage. Next up, Dior Home EDT. This opens with some subtle pink pepper, fleeting citruses, and an overwhelming dose of wood notes. As we head into the mid and base, it is all about these woody notes. There are some musky nuances that help break up the woodiness, but are about as light as the subtle pink pepper in the opening. A very simple but extremely easy fragrance to wear. The performance, I always get 8 to 10 hours on the skin with moderate and consistent projection. This pushes out 2 to 3 feet for 5 to 6 hours before receding, never becoming a skin scent. As for seasons and occasions, it is everything and anything. This is one of the easiest fragrances to wear on this list, and this is why I think it is one of the best beginner fragrances, because it is so easy to wear, but it still maintains that quality for a decently affordable price. These last two break the versatility chain. Versace Eros EDT opens with sweet vanilla, aromatic mint, and some woody nuances that have lingered up from the top. There's something so great about the mint and vanilla. They just work well together. And as we head into the mid, it just becomes more and more vanilla dominant with stronger warm ambroxan and woody notes, giving the fragrance depth. And this is what you get for the rest of the wear. As for performance, I get 8 to 9 hours with above average projection. So this will push out past an arm's length for the first 3 to 4 hours before receding, but never becoming a skin scent. As for seasons and occasions, I would reserve this for cool and colder wear. So spring, fall, and winter, You can try it in the summer, but you do have to moderate your sprays and make sure it's not 80 or 90 degrees out because the vanilla will get too intense. As for occasions, the EDT version is not great for close quarter settings as it is the loudest projector of all. So this is ideally for going out. That's mainly how this got popularized in the first place. I have this included on this list, not because of the versatility factor, but because it is such a great clubbing scent and it is a popular fragrance for a reason. Last but not least, Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Eau Intense. This opens extremely fresh with a heavy dose of aromatics and some salty aquatics. Interesting, there's not really much citrus in this fragrance that I can smell. As we head into the mid, it becomes more and more about these salty aquatics, but maintains those fresh accents from before. And then into the base, you still have fresh salty aquatics, but you have the addition of musks and woods. This is a great combination as it is a very masculine trio, but still fresh and wearable. The performance, what you'd expect from a fresh base fragrance, 6 to 7 hours on the skin with light projection. This pushes out up to 2 feet for the first 2 to 3 hours before receding to a 1 foot ambiance and eventually a skin scent in the last hour of wear. As for seasons and occasions, reserve this only for the spring and summer, but you can wear it for all occasions because it is an alluring freshie that can grab attention on dates or formal events, but it also gets a ton of compliments. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.